Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Adam. Welcome to another P3D review video, and in today's video, like the title suggests, we're going to be taking a look at the Leonardo MaddogX in P3D V5. Now, I know what you're saying, Adam, why are you reviewing a product that's been out for years and currently is in the Microsoft Sim as its latest iteration? Well, the answer to that is quite interesting and kind of lies in what I want to discuss when we get into Cruise about developers, their products, and how they relate, I guess, or how they handle legacy customers and new potential customers. And there's something I really want to talk about, importantly, about Leonardo Software House as a developer versus other developers and their behaviors that have changed in the last 5 years, because there's a lot going on in the flight sim community, and I think it's worth a discussion and a feedback to all different types of developers. So the MaddogX, now this is the first time I've actually acquired this plane. I've never really flown it before, and in this review we're going to be looking at this in 3 different sections. The first section will be the download and installation of how easy it is. The second section will be the features and the complexity of the add-on, and in the third section, the modeling and the texturing. Now, I'm not going to be talking about the flight model. Like, I've never flown in real life either on an MD-80 or, obviously, like, I'm not a real pilot. I've never flown an MD-80, so really I've got no business at all talking about the flight model. But I have spoken to a real life retired MD-80 captain, and he has given me his thoughts on this add-on, which I will relay in that relevant section. But what we can look at is what you get when you acquire this add-on. Now, Leonardo House have developed the MaddogX for various different platforms. It originally first came out in 2006 for Flight Simulator 2004, A Century of Flight, and then in 2018, I believe, they rebooted it into FSX and updated it, and in 2019 brought it forward to P3D version 4, and then a couple of years later it came out in P3D V5. Now, one thing I will say is that in P3D V5, this is the final build. This is complete. There is no more updates that will be issued for this plane. It is completely done for P3D V5, and it is also available in Microsoft 2020 and Microsoft 2024, where they're still kind of developing the plane. It's kind of almost like in a beta state. So there's more features, more bugs that will be fixed, and more updates in the future moving forward for probably at least the next couple of years. So but in P3D V5, it is the completed version. And I really would say worth checking out. If you fly PMDG, FS Labs, the Dash Q400, you will be very familiar with this plane and how it handles. It is a retro plane after all. This is a classic Delta Wing from McDonnell Douglas. Developed back in like the 60s. There was 1100 made. I think it was starting manufacturing, actually it was in 1979, sorry, and it was kind of based off the DC-9. So if you're even familiar with the DC-9, then you'll be easily able to fly this. Now, me personally, I've only really, this type of airplane, I've got two kinds of planes like this where the engines are at the rear. I've got the BAC 111 and I've got the Boeing 717. So I kind of have a head start as to how this plane operates. But yeah, let's get into everything. So first section, download and installation. Now, I want to do a disclaimer first, right? I got this sent by Leonardo House, the MD82, for free, but not in order to do a review on it. They sent it me because I reached out to them with a honest question about their development for P3D on their plane. Will they be updating it in the future? Will they be giving out a V6 version? And if not, is it possible to reduce the price if you've now moved on to Microsoft? And their response, which could have been one of many, spoke volumes as to how they not only see their aircraft, but how they see either potential customers or existing customers. And that's what I really want to get into during the flight. The disclaimer is they have not asked me to do this review or this video, but they did send me this for free. So I just want to disclaim that. I'm not biased in any way towards Leonardo House Software Company. I will just give a very honest review. So let's get into it. So section 1, the download and installation. How does it go? Well, you go to their website. So it's pretty easy, to be honest. It's probably one of the easiest purchases you'll ever make. It's a very simple website, and you go to products, you go to the relevant version that you want. They currently sell for Microsoft 2020 and 2024 P3D V5 and P3D V4 only. They no longer sell the FSX or P3D versions 1 to 3 builds anymore. So you click on the relevant one that you're looking for, and they're showing Microsoft thumbnails, which is quite interesting. Now, as you can see, it does have a expansion pack for the 83 and the 88 series. Now, this will not install any new model into your sim, and it does obviously require the MD82 base package to pick up the expansion pack, but the 83 and the 88 are very different models, or sorry, very different variants of the same 82 model. It's mainly the flight deck, the engines, and the cabin layout which is the difference. But if you get this, do not think you're getting a longer version or a different model. It is all tied into the MD82 base package, and as you can see, you just click on go buy it at Sim Market and it'll take you straight away to the relevant page. Now, as you can see, it's 114 euros for the P3D V5 64-bit version, and when it first came out, it was only about 70 when it came out in P3D version 4. But since version 4, they have fully updated this and completely finished. Now, it says here available since 2020. That's when it first came out for P3D V5, but the final update was only 24 months ago as of recording this video in 2025. So if you've never flown it since 2023, you most likely do not have the latest model, which has been heavily updated, bug fixed, and completely built for P3D version 5. If you're flying this in any other sim like Microsoft, you're not flying the complete version yet, but one day you will. So it's pretty easy when you buy it through Sim Market. You'll obviously log into your account, or you can, either download it from the website, or if you get the app, you can download it through the internal app, which is highly recommended because you can basically, simply just download it to a location of your choice, along with any expansion that you've got, and it will keep you informed of updates going over, you know, into the future, you'll get an icon notification here to say this product has been updated, and that's true of anything you purchase through Sim Market and you have this app. I really do recommend, highly recommend getting this app, because it is a really good way of keeping track of all your add-ons and their updates, even if the developer doesn't issue an update on social media or on their website. Sim Market will let you know when there is an update available, so highly recommend doing that. And obviously when you download it, I recommend putting it somewhere on your C drive. Do not put it on any other drive in case of permissions. I either put it in your videos, your downloads, your pictures, music location, or even on your desktop, which is kind of the location I have mine in. Also, you want to make sure that your sort of Windows security antivirus is disabled. You want to make sure that live protection or real-time protection is turned off, and this will help the installer to fully install everything. If you have antivirus running or that live real-time protection, it may not install fully, and then you'll get problems moving forward into the future. The installation, I gotta say, is one of the easiest I've encountered. You obviously just run the installer, go through the setup, and it will basically confirm to you where you want it installed. Now, it will go into your Documents Prepared V5 add-ons folder, and that is so crucial that it does sit in there. In your add-ons folder, you'll have a MaddogX folder, and this is where the plane will go. It is super important that you put it in your document and add-ons folder, and do not rehouse it into your FLIGHTSIM folder on the C drive. That pop-up was just to confirm that that is the location of your prepared add-ons folder, not a choice for you to go and maneuver it anywhere else. It is really does need to sit in your add-ons folder. They basically state that it cannot go in the FLIGHTSIM folder, in the sim objects of its own. But when you do install it fully, you basically will only have two folders in two different locations. You'll have the MaddogX folder here, and then in your add-ons you'll have, like we just saw, the MaddogX, and everything will be contained within this 6 gig installation in that one, and a couple of gig in the files where all of your back-end stuff will be. And obviously if you're using Navigraph, you want to load your nav data into this location. Your SimBrief downloader should automatically kind of find it, or your FMS nav downloader will automatically kind of find it, and then update your nav data. I highly recommend you doing that before even loading into the plane or the sim. Now, in terms of download and installation, like I said, super easy to do. It's I've seen a lot more complicated installations for planes, and this is one of the easiest ones. So well done, Leonardo, for making it so easy. It literally just runs through, installs, and then puts in any libraries it needs to. And this is what you get when you first install the base package. You get this livery only. It doesn't actually come with a selection of liveries. You only just get this one plane, which I guess, I don't know, is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's a good thing in the fact that you haven't got a lot of bloated liveries in your sim that you're never going to fly. You can just go and get the ones you want. But at the same time, you then have to go and go get those. You don't get them just given to you. And of course, livery makers kind of can do things, a little differently to what a developer can do. Luckily, all of the liveries are on the forums for Leonardo, and I really recommend going over to set up an account for their forums, because this is where you will find all of the liveries that the actual developer himself has done, and I only recommend using these because there is a massive difference between V4 and V5 versions of the Mad Dog. They've actually redone a lot of the PBR bitmap textures, and so a lot of the rivets are in totally different places between version 4 and version 5. So it's not recommended, although you could, but it's not recommended to use a V4 livery in V5. It just won't look accurate when you load into your sim. But all of these are for V5 in the V5 section of on their forum, and they do have pretty much every livery that was ever made for this plane. So highly recommend going over. To install a livery, it is super easy. You basically download and straight away just install the zip file into the livery's location, and that is it. You've basically done 50% of installing a livery. And the way Leonardo, this Mad Dog, works is that every single one of these liveries is introducing a new airframe into your simulator. It's not just a reskin of the base model and then you've got like 20 different liveries to choose from. You now have 20 unique planes to choose from. It installs a livery as a brand new airframe, which will make sense when we have a look at the other stuff in that folder. But yeah, download and installation, absolutely piece of piss. And really good. So the second section is the features and the complexity of this. Is this a study level plane, or is it like one of those light planes where a lot of stuff is automated that you don't have to worry about? Well, I gotta say, in terms of features, this is probably, apart from FS Labs, one of the most feature rich add-ons you'll ever own for P3D, because they've kind of thought of everything. Not only do they have GSX integrated into everything by default, you don't have to do anything, but they also give you a control panel load manager within the installation, which is basically where you will set up everything. Not only will you go in to install liveries, so available liveries are here, and you literally just put them across like so. And then once you've done that, you can click make selected liveries available for all variants, which will triple the amount of airframes you have. I'm not going to do that. And then just click apply, and it will write the necessary files. Make sure you're connected and make sure your air rack is up to date. You can choose to have it in pounds or kilograms and choose your monitor type, and it's basically the same for all three variants. And then when you finish making selections, you'll just click the check mark to save and exit, and anything it needs to will automatically then be sent to the plane in question. Okay, so let's go through the load manager and see what you get with it. So the good thing about it is it comes with its own performance calculator. You just choose the livery that you're going to fly. We're actually going to do a flight today, and we're going to fly the American Airlines one. You can import your sim brief once you link it in, which I'll show you how to do in a second. And it will then import all the figures into here, and then once you click the save and exit, it will be transferred to the plane. If you don't link your sim brief, you will have access to this next menu, which is a flight planner. Obviously I have linked my sim brief, so it is grayed out. You then also get a failures section with the selected livery you've chosen, where you can actually, this is kind of like a maintenance hangar for like the A2A one, where it will give you any components or problems down here. You can then go and fix them, and it will say notes here. So currently right now I haven't set up this payloader thing, so all of the failures and maintenance systems are actually now disabled, which in other menus you can actually change. You can also change your engine type, as well as the cockpit cover. It comes in either pink, blue, or grey. We're going to go with blue. And the cabin layout, you can either have a first and second class or a full economy, which is what I've selected. And you have the choice of either Honeywell or the Canadian. You can choose pounds or kilograms. You can have the flat tail or the cone tail, as well as a whole list of choices down here, which some will, you know, automatically, you know, change when you click this. If you're in the sim, it will change in real time. Others, you will need to restart to see those changes. I don't see anything here that I want to actually change. You could also select your own boarding music if you want, and if you have sound packs for different crews, you can select the one you want here. We're just going to go with the defaults. As a disclaimer as well, I have updated the sounds for this plane from what you'll get with default. I have included immersive audio cockpit and TSS engine sounds. Immersive audio also do an engine pack, but I currently haven't got it. So all the audio that you'll hear is those sound packs that are also available on Sim Market. As well as that, from Leonardo, they also sell a training instructor panel, €30, and you can basically load up a instructor and cadet sort of situation, which I'll talk about in a second. Simulator options, I prefer realistic mode when possible, although I'm not going to have the autopilot disconnect if my flight controls are removed. Automatic update aircraft weights, yes. Oh no, we're going to do that ourselves. Refueled aircraft, so we want GSX to refuel, so we won't be selecting that. Select simulator weather from the planner METARS. Now, this is the data client you can select. And obviously I'm choosing FLIGHTSIM. We're not on FLIGHTSIM, and we're not using Pro ATC either. This is a review flight, so really we're just using the normal weather. And the choices of weather clients you get are only Rex or Active Sky, which is such a shame because I use FS Real Weather, which means that I won't be able to see any weather displayed within the flight deck because I'm not using either of these two, which is a bit of a shame. So all of these look good. Realistic nose wheel steering, if you activate that, you will have a limited turn power for your plane. Additional options, this is where you will link your pilot ID for SimBrief, and it also has the ability to do a shared cockpit, so it gives you the option to set up your own connection to someone else to then share your cockpit. And of course it also it works with FS to crew, which I won't be using on this flight, but if you do want me to do an FS to crew flight, let me know in the comments and I will set that up. You can also choose your primary display colors here and dynamic or legacy lights. There is a failures mode which you can actually activate how often you want them to start. This is when they will begin to fail. So obviously this is the very first flight I'm doing, and I have chosen the American Airlines livery, and I seriously doubt we'll have any failures, but failures are now active, and yeah, they will occur obviously after 1,000 and about 1,500 and 2,000 hours of use for the plane. The sounds as well can be selected for specific volume control on every single file. So if you think the wipers are a bit too loud, you can turn them down, and you can basically customize your own volumes for all the sounds. It also has a custom event section for your controllers, and they are doing voice activation. And down here, the serial key is where you'll register your plane. As soon as you've installed your base package and your expansion package, the very first thing that will pop up is this, and that is where you want to go to enter your registration key. Obviously I'm not going to show you that now because, you know, it's in there, but yeah, so here we go. Weekly check has expired. We can now connect in and add everything, and it will then transfer everything to the plane. Now the plane itself is compatible with GSX. Everything is automatically set up and working. You don't really have to do anything, but the one thing that I've yet to be able to work around is when adding the fuel. It doesn't seem to, like, GSX doesn't seem to recognize that I've then clicked the fuel into the plane. It keeps asking and asking, so I have to then reset GSX, but it's not a big problem. And what other features do you get with this plane? I mean, there are so much. Now, this livery you're seeing right now isn't the one that was installed, like, from the, you know, their forums. The one that they installed was a much brighter version. Moving on to the modeling and texturing now of the plane here. The texturing is outstanding, right? This is a livery you're looking at, to be honest, and it looks a little bit green because we're on this stand here, which is a little bit, you know, green casting. But and it's true to life that there is a line going down the middle here, and you can see a difference in the metallic on a metallic bare metal plane. You can actually see like you see here, a change in the metal. That's actually a bit further up on here. This is because I've altered the PBR on this livery only, and so for some reason it changes the matching up, which is something I'm still working on. But I found that the PBR for the planes, or rather the livery, was just way too bright and needed to be toned down a bit. So I personally toned down it myself. But the PBR for this is really good and specific to V5. Their V4 version is also very specific to V4. The liveries are not interchangeable, and if you use a livery from V4 and V5, everything will just be cockeyed. This livery is actually for the MD83, and I'm using it on the MD82, which is probably why things don't match up properly. But if you use the right livery for the right plane, you won't have these issues. Texturing, I think, is really good, especially in the flight deck. Let's get in and have a look. If you have dynamic lighting and your volumetric clouds turned on, everything looks pretty nice. Obviously, if you turn all that off, they have allowed for that, and you will still get a very nice looking flight deck, which we kind of do need to set up now. So this state that we're in the drop down menu, they have their own, you know, state. So we're in cold and dark right now, but as you can see, you know, you can choose ready at the gate, ready to start, ready to fly, and set up your shared cockpit here. So we're in an absolute bare cold state, and this is where I like to set up all my lights first. You have a set of lights down here. This is for the panel lights, which I always whack on full blast even during the day. Then you have a digital versus a analog display thing, and a floodlight, which I only put on 50%, like the rest of the lights that I do now. So down here there's some more lights, put them on 50%. That one and these two 50%, and I think this gives me a really nice look. Obviously at night time I would turn on the thunderstorm floodlight here, but obviously I don't need to do that during the day. There's two more up here, put them on to 50%. Now I gotta say, after I've had this for a week, And it's only taken me about 3 flights to learn how to fly this plane. Not because it's like an easy plane to fly. On the contrary, this is the most accurate and complex MD-80 plane in flight simulation. The Mad Dog Leonardo, speaking about the complexity of it, it is a very complex plane to fly, but it is also very accurate to the real plane. In fact, in any flight sim, this Leonardo MD-80 is the most accurate and best one to get. This totally beats the Rotate MD-80 from X-Plane, and because we're in P3D V5 and this is the completed version, this totally blows the Microsoft version, which comes from the same company, out of the water, because they're still making it. They're still actually building it, and it doesn't have all the features or, you know, loveliness, I guess, that this version does. This version won't be receiving any more updates because it is totally finished. So put circuit breakers to dim, and also I'll go over here. We've got some lights here, the position lights and the ground flood lights. Don't really need to put them on, but I'm gonna. And that is it for the preliminary setup. There is a tablet here, which if you hold, you can then pop in. Now, the thing is, I have actually, yep, it's done it. So the EFB, you can customize your back screen to however you want. You simply will go into your V5 aircrafts folder, and the PNG, this is the default one that you'll get. And as long as the file is a 1024 by 768 PNG file, you can pop in any one you want and assign it to a specific livery, and then it will show in as a background to this. Very first thing you should do when you come in is set it for flight mode. That is very important for some reason. I honestly don't know why. You've got your performance here and your charts, or weight and balance rather, here. So we can import that now, and it will then load up as it was from SimBrief. You also have a documents section, which has some checklists in here, as well as ones that you can put in yourself if you need some notes. And you have a normal checklist there, and your OFP is, which is here, and the flight plan, which is here, which will give us all the good stuff we need. So put that to the top, and we will come back to that. So very first thing is obviously we need to give it some juice. It needs a battery, otherwise nothing's going to happen. And then press and hold, and it will keep that in place, and it starts to go through its own little initialization with the bare minimum of ampage that it's got, which we can check up here. There we go. So it's obviously, it's going to need some more, so put that power on, emergency lights armed, and in all honesty you still can set some stuff up, but the very first thing I think we need to do is be able to speak to both our crew and the ground staff. So we need to actually activate the system first before we can now call for a battery, a ground cart. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Connect the GPU, please.
Connect her up.
Stand by.
And then these two will light up, and we'll be able to connect the buses and the external buses down here.
GPU connected.
There we go. Boom. Done. And there's one down here. And there we go. She's powered. She's ready for action. Now, like I said, I have only had this a short time. I don't know how to fly this fully. I'm going to make loads of mistakes. But the idea here is to basically survive through a flight. Not really like professionally use it for, you know, flight sim. This is just a review of everything. And I think I know enough to be able to do that. So let's make sure we've got some lighting in here. Don't need the thunderstorm lights on. And obviously it's too dark for anything like that. I will put my logo on and go through. There is checklists with it, and I also have sourced some other external documents which I'm going to put in my Discord in the free flight sim assets that really help you. It does actually come with a mega ton of documents for basically everything you need to know, as well as every system on board here is detailed. Now, the one thing I will say is the checklists are a little bit basic. There is a normal checklist as well as a extended checklist, but they are a basic checklist, and I do recommend getting an actual flight manual, which isn't included in here, for the real plane to be able to see how the real pilots did things. But I gotta say, those documents are really good. We've also got to test the PA. So
PA and emergency light test.
brilliant. Okay, now, oh,
Emergency lights off.
okay, reset that. We're also going to tell them that we're doing a test.
PA and emergency light test.
Oh, we already did. Oh, okay, brilliant.
Emergency lights off.
So we'll do a stall test.
Stall. Stall.
We'll do a speed test.
Overspeed.
We'll do an ice flood test, or test is down. There we go. There are a couple of other tests that we can perform, if I can remember where they are. Where is it? Don't know if that one could, I think you have to have something else on for that to happen. Yeah. Oh, hydraulics. Let's pressurize the hydraulics. Make sure, very important that those hydraulics are running. And we will phone for fuelers, I guess. So let's get everything set up for the flight here. So we wait and balance. Everything is here, and it automatically gets imported into your FMC once it's in here. So let me make sure we are at LPPR, and we're taking off from runway 35. Dry conditions, flapped optimum. QNH right now is 3009. This is totally not needed in order to fly, by the way. Paxon outside temperature is 19. And our takeoff weight, which by the flight plan says 136.1. 136.1. Calculate that, and it should then give us our takeoff speeds, which obviously SimBrief, you can do all of this on the SimBrief thing. And I gotta say, select temperature, that matches up. Flaps 5, I didn't choose flaps 5. In fact, I don't think there is a flap 5 selection, to be honest. Takeoff, it's like flaps 13 or something is probably better. But yeah, we'll see how that fares. Yeah, let's actually go down here and start setting up some of this. I'm not actually going to use this to fly with. This is basically the same as a Boeing 737 one. I don't know what gate we're at, to be honest. It automatically aligns an INS in the 82 model, and I believe in other models you might have the overhead switches to do, but we're just going to take that one for that. Our departure is runway, like I said, 35, and we're on the Bell D9E. Now again, I'm putting all this in, but we're not going to be using this to fly with, so I'll be using something else. So arrival is on the 32 right into Madrid because I want to see how well it fares with a heavier airport. We're at an airport, by the way, in Portugal where it ain't too heavy, you know. We're on the coast. It's a smallish airport. What is it called? Porto Francisco Sá Carneiro in Portugal. Porto, basically. So it's an okay airport. It's not massive, but Madrid is much bigger. So we'll see how it fares on the arrival into that. ILS Zulu on runway 32 right. Well, we don't have 32 right, my friend. You got 35 for some. Oh, that's an arrival into the... Whoa, Sonny. Oh, because I haven't put in the destination. That's why. See, it doesn't do things that don't make sense. Let's activate that first, and then we'll do our arrival. Actually, we have got a company route. What am I saying? Let me put in the company route. LPPRLEMD. And there is the company route. Activate that. But let's just double check. So the arrival is 32 right ILS Zulu. 32, that's right. No, that's 8. 32 right ILS Zulu. There it is, that one. And it's on the RIDA 4C. Oh, there it was. And we're coming in on the FAFIC transition. And that is that. Right, so that is the route, which we can just quickly double check to make sure that there ain't no problems with it. Not that we'll be using this to fly, it's going to be more of a guideline. Let me just whack up the gain on this. Now I say I can turn on the power for the weather radar, but I seriously doubt it will actually show. And we'll put traffic on the other side. Actually, we can perform a test to see if it is working, actually. It is. Maybe we will get weather. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Right. So, verifying our route, we come out of Porto. We hitting... okay, so... First one is Udrub, which I don't actually see here. I think I might need to redo the departure. Departure's coming out of 3.5 on the Bell 90 transition. Execute that in there. There it is. Udrub, PR614, PR656 to Bell Do. Then Bardi, yep. Then Ridav. Then we have MD455, TLD, MD445. Ooh, 455 and 445. That's interesting. Then Burex, yep. MD440 to Yunyi to Fafek, MD75. Is there a 70? Yes, there is. And then 75, and then Yahoo, and then the runway, basically. And that is basically it. And then, of course, you've got the missed approach one after that. So that is correct. That is fully in there now, we know. So we are, where are we actually? We are on stand 32. Okay. Like I said, we aren't putting in any ATC for us to complicate things, which reminds me, okay. Right, so fuel scheduled. Looking at my flight plan, it says we need 18132, so that will be 18132 1.32. Oh, that's not in kilograms on SimBrief. It should be in pounds. I work in pounds, my friend. So we'll soon find out, I guess. What did I put in wrong? 18.1 then. Oop. /A. There we go. Gross weight of the plane. Or zero fuel weight we'll do first. 122. There you go. It'll calculate it for us. Our reserves are 4.2. Wow. And a cost index is well, it doesn't actually give me one on my flight plan, but it does already in the plane, so we'll just go with that. Flight level 300. I'm going to fly this a very interesting way, by the way, just to let you know. Like I said, we're not going to use the FMC. I want to see if we can fly it a certain way and it still perform realistically, because Leonardo say that they normally aim to reproduce aircraft with 100% fidelity, and always it may not be possible with the limitations of the sim that it's being hosted in, but they do their best to overcome using custom coding and techniques. And obviously they do have real life pilots on their board, so I want to see how well it performs, but like I said, no actual experience, but somebody watching will. I'm open. Right, so our outside temperature, it is on the thingy as well, so it should give me the other one. Brilliant. 64. If one, that's 50, mate. Right, transition level is there. Okay, so takeoff. I have got V speeds, so we're gonna say 135. These do not mean a dicky bird, by the way, for anything. The plane does not use these speeds at all. These are just for reference, and once you enter them in, you can come over here, click that, and it'll automatically position everything for you, which I think is pretty cool. So that is basically that, and that is basically that. So let's phone for the fuelers, and let's see if GSX will sort us out. Don't care who comes, mate.
Refueling truck is on its way.
So when it does come, we'll just
Please
basically
don't
call the
load the aircraft
fuelers
until the fuel
inside the
truck
flight
arrives
deck.
and ask to do it.
Can't really turn on any systems now because they're going to be fueling us up, but we can set up our MCP here. So looking at the charts of our departure now, so we keep legal, we have to be above 3,000 feet there, and it looks like our initial is 10,000 by
Fuel
Beldu,
truck is in position.
but I think we're gonna climb well above that before.
Please don't load aircraft
So we can
until
just
the
go
fuel
straight up
truck
to
arrives and ask to do it.
30,000.
Please use your airplane fuel
Here we go.
system to set the desired fuel quantity.
So we'll phone for fuelers.
Yes, sir.
Refuel me up, mate. Refueling now, it says. Already doing it. Beautiful. Let's see if GSX continues to yap on that. She might continue to do that. 300, sorry. Yeah. So heading of the runway is taking off from 35. That's 351. So set that, and I always set speed limits of 250. Obviously, real life pilots probably would initially set it for maybe 160, whatever the V2 speed is, and then adjust it later. But I like to do it this way. I got my own style of flying, guys. Make sure they're fueling us up like. There it is. Yeah, they are. 250 sets. flight directors can go on at this point. And we can lower our light things. This does not turn anything on. It just lowers on the wing. The, where is it? The light pod. It just lowers the light. It doesn't actually activate it. Or it shouldn't do anyway. Oh, let me set that. Hello? There we go. Now we could do a flex takeoff with the assumed temperature here. By going to our performance charts and all that. And working out what the EPR would be and, you know, whatever. But again, we ain't going to do that. In fact, I think I'm pretty much done with this. So, could turn it off. Could even get rid of it, I think. Let's have a hit of gas. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good shit. Airports. Looks like there's a weather test still happening here. Turn that off. Trying to think of what else to do here. What else needs to be done? Oh, tell you one thing that needs to be done. Gotta make sure. Oh, it doesn't have it here. Where's the RTO? Is that not? Hey? Isn't there should be an RTO down here? Right here. Where's the RTO? Does this model not have it? Guess not. I mean, there are differences between the 82, the 83 and the 88. I'm going to guess that this one doesn't have an auto brake system, or maybe I didn't select it in the you know, the loader. I don't know. Daddy's not wondering what's going on. Right, they have filled me up. So we're going to activate these two pumps, start the pumps there, so we can now start our APU. But before we do that, let's get the doors open, shall we? Not you, mate.
Sir.
Not you. Sorry, mate. Oh, actually, yeah, you know, you can give us an air conditioning
Yes,
unit,
sir.
mate.
Connect the low pressure air, please.
Yeah, because we'll need some
Stand by.
pumping packs. But, yo, let's get the doors open, girls, so people can get on board and we can get the nuts on. We'll open the back stairs
here comes
as well. Here comes the pressure. So we'll put on the supply for the air. Oh, and the galley power. They're going to need some of that shit. And we'll phone for the nuts to come on board.
Vehicles are on their way.
So also got to make sure that that is fully down. It's so easy for that not to extend down. The hydraulic brakes, that's why you have to have the hydraulic stuff on to extend that fully. Otherwise people can't get on board. And this is such a beat up plane. This plane is bloody knackered. I hope you can hear everything well. Let me turn up the sounds a bit more. So here comes the goodies, the lovely jubblies. It's a beautiful day. What is the weather report, actually? I didn't even check. Which you can also do, by the way, in here. There is other stuff that this thing will do. You can actually get a full-on, not only a maintenance, you know, thing here, which you need the password for, but also, where is it? Ground. No. There is a whole... Here. LDDR. On the wrong... Ah, here it is. So you have your A cars menu. So you can actually get full-on pre-flight and all this stuff if you want to turn that on, which I've never used this in my life, and I wouldn't know how to do it. So I will learn that though. There's a flight log. Now the good fun thing with this is this plane, as well as that menu, is you can set up like a routing going from and it'll all be logged, and you'll have a full history. And this is kind of like, you remember A2A with their ACU feel and their persistent state? That's exactly what this is. This is basically got an ACU feel, persistent state soul built into it. And if you gotta look after it, because hard landings and other stuff, you're gonna knacker it, you know. This one is actually quite a beauty. The modeling, by the way, I forgot to mention the modeling on this, I think is really accurate. I have, you know, looked at planes, real life MD-80s, and this is exactly, every detail I see here has been modeled very nicely, obviously to the limitation of the sim. Is that fully extended? I don't know. I think they've done a fantastic job modeling everything. Obviously this texture, you know, isn't representative of any type of texturing you'll get from Leonardo. I've modified this myself, and they do give you a paint kit, and they do allow you very easily to modify the textures and the model if you so wish to. Unlike like other developers that actually really kind of lock it off and really make it hard for you to create your own liveries or modify, you know, an existing one. Look at that, man. Hello, beautiful. I think honestly they've done a fantastic job on this, and the integration is there. They automatically shut the doors for you. Beautiful. Right, I think we should get people on board now. So they finished fueling us up. We've got the air conditioning unit running. Let's start our APU up first. So this is the meter to be looking at. We do actually need to set up. So pump is running. System A. Start it, and it should then cycle up. Obviously. And once we have connected everything, we can then get rid of our ground cart. I'm going to turn on the anti-fog and anti-ice for the windshields, because I have a feeling it could get foggy if I don't. APU generator off. Well, let's turn it on, my friend. And we can check to see if we have got APU loadout, which we have. Beautiful. So now that's on, that's off. I think we can close the pump now. I feel like I'm missing something here. We've got APU, so let's switch it over, and we'll disconnect external power. Gotta start that one. I just leave them on, to be honest. I don't think you do in real life. Let's disconnect the ground power unit.
Yes, sir. You're cleared to disconnect.
No, you're cleared to disconnect.
Thanks.
Methinks everything's sorted there. Yeah, those are gone. So this is basically your failures that are going to happen. There's different systems here: electric, ice, engine, controls, miscellaneous, hydraulics, mundane. I don't know what MON means. And that one, which is a clear. So if you want to look at a particular system, you can. They'll just start racking up though as you begin to load up your flight. So yeah, right, let's do a quick scan of everything to make sure I haven't missed anything, which I'm sure I probably have. So we'll start on this side and work our way across. So APUs are on and we've got power to APU. Beautiful. I'll get that ready for the engine start. The APU bus is turned on. It's a very old-fashioned system, and it has an override system. So as soon as I started that APU up, it really did internally take over as the main power for the plane over the external power. So that turning it off was just kind of, yeah, get rid of it. The APU had already begun to run, and it's the same thing when I had turned on the engines. It will take over from the APU. So that's all set up. I can actually, I think, turn my start pump off now, I believe. That could be misleading. And we'll use system B to start the engines. We can actually turn on all our pumps now. And now we can call for loading of the passengers. So, I don't know why start boarding never seems to be available. Obviously, I think there's something you have to do, but we can do it through
Boarding
that.
requested.
They're on. That's the anti-ice protection system, which, you know, we're not going to turn on yet. Probably not going to have to. It's 19 degrees now, but maybe when we're near. APU is on. What else we got down here? Oh yeah, we better put in the landing altitude stuff. So let me get the approach chart up. The elevation of the runway is 1886. Holy moly, so this goes up in hundreds. So, hello. This is, yeah. So, fuck me. That's going to be interesting. I'll climb this all the way up. It's an automatic system as well for the pressurization of the plane. You haven't got to sit there fretting about it. So, oh, and you can do a lights test complete as well. Just make sure all the lights are actually working. Oh, there we go, past it. 1886. And the barrow for when we come into land is like 200. Oh no, sorry, the barrow of the of the actual airport itself is 3004. So we'll set that up now. Obviously not the barrow of where I am, which that goes down here. And where we are now is Porto 3009. It's almost the same. And 019 as well. 009. There we go. So that's set up. TCAS, can turn that brightness up if we need, but we'll just put in a random bloody number here. I don't know, and set it to standby. It was already on, and it's just wiping my fucking number. Obviously, we're not on FLIGHTSIM, but I will just set the thing just in case the Sims ATC wants to start chatting. Now, you might hear that they haven't actually started boarding anything, I think. Like, why? Boarding has been requested. So, what's going on, my friends? Oh, they put the cargo people on. Where's the people? Are they not showing up? I don't know. They're putting the cargo on, so everything in due time, I guess. You don't have to worry about it, to be honest. It's all sorted out. Right, that's set. Parking brake is set. Don't really need... Oh, hello. Can you feel that? I thought we went up and down just then. We'll leave that. You can actually turn the screen off if you want, if you don't use it. We're not going to be using the ILS, though, to land the plane, by the way. Going to use the daddy's got the plane way. Oh, yeah, I was doing the overhead, wasn't I? So obviously these will go off when we start our engines, but obviously they want to be cool, you know, when they get on board. So we want to make sure that they've got correct stuff. Put that on, and I think that's it. I can't see anything else that needs to be done here. Please obviously let me know if I've done anything wrong and grill me in the comments if there's anything you want to know. I feel like we've got loads of fuel here, but that is what the flight plan says. So if I wanted to, we could set up our flex temperature. You have to set that first, and then you can dial in. Did I just flick that? Then you can dial in the temperature or the EPR limit, which I honestly don't know, so we're just gonna leave that, you know. Do a test on that. Right, basically everything is set up. We're just waiting for the peoples to get on board. So, yo, what's going on, guys? Start the boarding. Okay, so disclaimer, I had to kind of pause where I was up to because I have to go to work. So it is the next day, but I've put everything back as if it is the same day. So we are continuing, and they are loading us up. And I also worked out the fueling thing. So once obviously everything was set up on my tablet, and obviously I'd loaded it in the loader, all I had to do was call for the fuelers through the GSX menu, and it loaded up and didn't keep asking me to, you know, put it in, because it automatically had done so. All right, they finished loading us up, so let's tell the stewardess to shut the doors. There we go, and hopefully they'll get rid of the stairs. Yeah, we'll have to get rid of the stairs ourselves. So we are ready to go. External power door access. Well, turned off all the external power, so I don't really know what that's all about. Power access door. So I don't know. Anyway, let's go, shall we? So I have set up my trim and flaps already. And from what I understand is obviously you put your center of gravity in and then match the number here with the flaps, which is what you'll set over here, which actually I think I still need to do. Flaps 15 is what it looks like we're taking off with. So, but it only allows you to go up to 13, and then that's it. And then it says do not use. So I'm not really sure if that is your flaps. So I set it to 7. And we'll see how we get on with that. That's not the right way to do it, and I know that. I got to work out You know, I have read all the manuals and that, but yeah, I gotta work all that out. So also when I loaded in today, this was here now, so we'll set that and arm that. That wasn't there yesterday for some reason. I don't know why. It's a bit weird. So we'll turn on our transponder. Ooh, hello, that was a test. There we go.
Gas system test OK.
And we're ready for pushback. So now the chocks get removed when you put on your anti-collision, so that's on. We can put our nose light on. Seatbelt signs are on. And we can ask for a pushback, which we will be doing. No. We will be doing nose left. So I'm not really sure what else I've got to do. Weather radar is on, but I don't think it's going to display. Floor lights on. All that good stuff is on. So I think we need to turn off the galley power. Turn on all the pumps. And there's no,
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
These. They have disconnected everything, don't they? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you're alright, mate. We'll put that to there.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
And I think we're ready to go. So we're going to go off System A today. Temperature outside is 18 degrees, so we don't need any anti-ice or anything like that. Hydraulics are up and running. Oil obviously is 0 because we haven't got any fuel flow or any engine power. We are running off APU and we are ready to rock and roll. Still don't know what that exterior door access is for. I can try and have a look, maybe we can see. I don't know. Well, I don't see any open doors, but who knows. Anyway, so nose left.
Release the parking brakes, please.
Parking brakes released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at wheel.
Okay, so let's start up our first engine. So pretty simple, basically. We're going to start number 1. Oh, first off, we got to turn on the pneumatic pressure on both of those, the feeds. We'll wait a second or so for it to feed in, and then we'll basically start number start number 1. There we go. It's there, and then when that gets to 20, so no, it's stopping. Hang on a second here. Let's try that again. Fuel, and turn off the start, or turn that off, and there it is. It's starting up. So we have got a good engine start on number 1, so we can turn on the supply for that to auto. Working brake set.
Waiting your confirmation for the engine start.
And we're going to start number 2. I think I'll start number 2 off System B. Wait for this. I think the start pump actually has to be off, but obviously ain't going to make a difference. Oh, no, oh, she was about to fire then. MC-18. Looks like she's going. Let's put her back to System A. Maybe it might be because that's on. Come on. There you go. Oh, don't roll back on me. Fuel flow is flowing. There you go, it's lit. We turn that off. Cover them back up. We'll wait. There you go, there's the click over. We've got power in both engines, so we can turn off the APU. APU is off. Start pump is off. I can get her off. And we can put these both to auto. Give them back the cabin air they want. So I think everything go up. Oh, hang on, I need to set the flight recorder. So it's 0 2 0 9. Actually, I better set that to 0 1 because that's what the time it thinks it is. It's 007 is the flight number, and this is leg 1. Insert. Okay. Methinks we're all good. I will turn off the APU there. All doors closed. No electrical faults. No ice faults. Center fuel is low, but we haven't got much fuel in there, so it doesn't look like we got any faults here, so we're all good to go. So landing lights are down, or sorry, taxi light is on. What's this here? Oh yeah, now we can put that on. Put that to both, and we's ready. Yaw dampener is on. I don't think the ram air stays on, but I don't know. That's all set up. Shut that. Fuel heat don't need. I think we're all good here. Final checks complete. We are all good to go, my friend. So flight directors are on. These now can get turned off, and we can start taxiing out. So we're basically going to go down here and turn right onto the runway. So park and brake off. Oh shit, I haven't actually told them we got a good engine start. My bad.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect. Unlocking you.
We's all good, my friend. Weather today is scattered at 1500, few at 3000, wind is 190 and 7. Let me have a look at my departure. So we fly out towards Udrub and then head off to Beldu and be at above 10,000 by then, which we should be. So there should be more here, actually. I'm kind of feeling like something's missing here. We're going to go into indicated airspeed once we hit like 220. But I feel like there should be more down here. What is down there? Auto land, autopilot. Oh, okay, because we haven't got those systems activated. So yeah, heading and altitude is set in, which we can actually click. Altitude hold, isn't it? No, because we haven't actually hit that altitude yet. Right. Okay, let's rock and roll, doggy. Yep, I see you there, mate. Park and brake is off. And the way I understand it is you basically... actually, park and brake back on. You rev up your engines to max. And then you bring it down like that to just below. And then turn off your park and brake and you're away. And that's how I understand you taxi off. And from what I've been told by that captain is that you will feel like you're going a lot faster than you actually are. Like right now, we're only doing 12 knots, but it kind of does feel a lot more. What was that noise? I don't know what that noise was. Let me have a look. Are my reverses out? No. Right, let's... we need to be turning. Right, turn power for some reason has just died. That sounds like my reverser's coming out. Right, I didn't actually have my rudders calibrated there. So yeah, the turning power should really be a lot better, but I don't know how you use a tiller job. So I might have to disable that realistic rudder or tiller or whatever, because it's not actually turning me, and I think that's a rudder issue with my rudders, because I am hard over turning and it's like not turning me as good as it should be. So fuck it out. There we go. And that's, I think, a hardware issue, nothing to do with the sim. Right, so we're just going to line straight up. We're not going to backtrack or anything because the end of the runway is right here. So let's get our landing lights on. And basically, we... the way you do it is you don't put your auto throttle on until you're halfway down the runway, and I think this is the runway. So definitely need to look into the axis thing, because obviously I'm not using this tiller down here, which I kind of should be. And it probably would give me better turning, but I haven't got anything that I can assign to it, I think. So, right. Let's rock and roll this puppy. Takeoff power. Here we go. Oh shit, yeah. We've got our flap set. There we go, auto throttle set. I don't know what that is because I've set my flaps. They obviously haven't set yet. So Oh, the right engine's on fire.
Right engine.
Well, we're gonna have to leave that, I'm afraid.
Fire. Right engine.
Fire.
Fire. Right
We've lost an engine on takeoff, guys.
Fire. Right engine.
Right, so we've lost an engine on takeoff. That's not a good idea. Right, gear up. That's all she wrote. We need speed.
300.
My right engine's burned. So, it is what it is.
Traffic.
Traffic as well, dude, honestly.
Traffic.
Honestly, you can't ride this shit. Or I don't want to burn my other engine, to be honest. What kind of review is this, man? Right, so basically I pumped it too much. Right, climb, thrust set, nose light, ground light. We're losing speed. When they blink, I'm guessing that's too much. Right, I need it. Come on, I need more speed, to be fair. We're gonna have to get some speed up here. Nose down a bit. Okay, so there we go. Right, so autopilot on, indicated airspeed set, heading mode activated.
Fire. Left
Oh, we
engine.
just lost our other engine, guys!
Left engine.
Dude, I can't shut that one down as well, mate. Let's go on to the nav. Oh, fuck.
Fire. Left engine.
Terrain.
That's it, we've lost both engines. We're done.
Fire. Left engine.
Right, start the APU up. We need some. Oh, we're done. We're cooked, guys. We're absolutely cooked. Autopilot off. I can't get the autopilot off. We're done. Guys, that's the end. That's how realistic she flies, guys. And honestly, do you know what? I actually... Oh, we're fucked. We're absolutely fucked. Let's get gear down.
Fire. Left
Put some
engine.
flaps out. We're coming in for a hard landing, guys.
Fire. Left engine.
Yeah, she's cooked.
Fire. Left engine.
Guys, I'm sorry, but this is it. Unpredictable, man. You could not predict it. Don't worry, we're gonna start this flight again, guys.
Fire. Left engine.
Oh, dudes.
Fire. Left engine.
I'm sorry, everyone. Hard landing. Cold and darker. Look at the fire as well. There is a fire coming out the engine. You can actually see the fire. My engine is on fire, guys. Oh, dude. How did I do that? Honestly. Cooked it, man. Absolutely cooked it. Right. Let's get back to the airport. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Well, we get to set everything up again, guys. Right, we were on gate, what was it, stand 24, wasn't it? Unbelievable. Okay, we're gonna try this again. Okay, so I'm all ready for taxi. We're gonna start. Oh, with it, I didn't tell them.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
So basically, I tried this again, and the same thing happened. I literally, on the stand, starting my engines, they just burned. So I think I had to reset this livery, this airframe, because obviously from the previous crash, I'd burned the engine. So reset the livery, turned off the realistic failures and all that, just for this flight, because obviously want to be able to see this thing in action. And I don't really like flying like that, but I kind of had to do that in order to get the engine started, because I tried it again with it on, and the same thing happened, even though I reset the airframe. So not really sure what's gone on there. Gonna have to look into that. Obviously, still learning how to fly this thing, so turn the TRA on. So yeah, so everything is, you know, so I've turned that off just for this flight. Let's get out of here. Dude, I'm going. So I am advancing my throttles.
Flat.
And I've turned off also the steering nature as well. Oh, let me set my flaps. So yeah, flaps have been set. Master caution. Art in off. Don't know what that means, mate. So we're gonna head off. I think everything's set up correctly. You know, I don't know. I am using flex takeoff with the assumed temperature of 50. So EPR limit is 1.86. I'm going to turn this on now and tell them to prepare for takeoff.
Ladies and gentlemen, your number 1 for takeoff. Flight attendants, please be seated.
So from what I understand, you're meant to hit toga before. And then obviously once you're on the runway, which we should have turned our taxi lights off, our landing lights off once we got to the runway. This should be okay now. We should be alright. Obviously failures off, this isn't going to behave and perform in the way that it should, because I've turned off the failures and maintenance and all that, which maybe I should have done from the get-go, but I really right, so that's all set. That's all set. I believe it's all set correctly up here. Where's the runway? Here's the runway. I think the runway's here. Let me show it back out. Dude, we've passed the runway. The runway's here. God, this is such a burn flight. Okay. So, at least we're not going to crash and burn this time. It's all going to be good, my friend. Okay, so flaps are set. Speed brake is armed. Here we go. And take off. Obviously this time we're not looking to burn our engines.
Stabilizer.
Yeah, that's supposed to happen.
Butt lap. Stabilizer.
Okay.
Butt lap.
I have put my flaps down.
Butt lap.
So
Stabilizer. Butt lap. Stabilizer. Butt lap.
auto throttle.
Stabilizer. Butt lap.
No, it's gonna burn.
Butt lap. Stabilizer.
Come on.
Butt lap.
Go.
Stabilizer. Butt lap. Stabilizer.
Oh, there's a plane on the runway. Where's he come from? Let's take it to the air.
Butt lap. Stabilizer.
Right. We're up. And we're looking for 220 on the old speedometer. So autopilot on, automatic speed.
Traffic.
And we're going to go straight to nav. So nav track and IR speed. That'll keep me vertical. And hopefully it will now follow the FMC flight plan, and then I'll take it when it gets up to cruise. So it's going to try, it should try and get up to speed here. Well, actually no, it's holding that 220, isn't it? So we gotta wait anyway. We gotta get my departure brief. So we've got to be above 3,000, which we are now. So speed's kind of looking a bit low. That left engine is blinking. Let's dial it back a bit. Oh, climb power, that's why. Auto throttle, autopilot. Okay, we're in climb power. I'm gonna put it is following the track. I don't know what that flashing light means, and I can hear a noise here, but I don't see any problematic. So these lights come off, that goes down. Oh, flaps, that's why. Yeah. Okay, let's put the speed on. Vertical speed and nav is engaged. Yeah, that's probably what. Okay, well we. Oh yeah, we are turning the right way. Okay, we're good. We're good. And say when we get up to cruise, I want to take it off the FMC, and I'm going to handle the or manage the flight rather. So we're in climb power. All this is good, I think. Turn these on. Temperature 14. Seatbelt signs, that's all armed. Pumps are all on. That's all on. Air conditioning is on, and the temperature is quite high in the cabin, to be fair. Why is that? It's like 35 degrees back there. Hey? Why are we stalling? Oh, fuck's sake. Autopilot off. Why are we stalling? You're supposed to be... Autopilot off. Okay, there we go. Autopilot back on. Speed and nav. We're in climb mode. Why we stalled, I do not know, because this thing's supposed to be handling my speed. My flaps are all up. Speed brake is off. That's probably what it was. Oh, it was only armed. Landing lights are off. Retracted. We should be going up to 250 speed here, mate. We're stuck at 200. I don't know why. Come on, mate. Let's go. Is it like a speed limit or something? 312, mate. We should be rocketing by now. Okay, is it because I'm on... Right, I'm going to take over the pitching gear, because this plane's not doing a very good job. We should be like at least quite fast. We're in climb power. Flaps are all up. Gear is up. Are we not like... Speed and altitude, yeah. We should be rocketing, man. We should be powering up. I don't know what's going on with this plane. Look at that. It's gone wrong there, my friend. I just need to look at the model there. Here we go, now we're doing it. So really 245 is 250 is still all you need, really. so when we get to Beldu, we want to be turning 125. So I will set that up now, and then we'll be taking that over. And I'll be inputting all the stuff. This flight. Well, let me try putting it back into nav speed. This needs to be set now. Standard. Shame there's no button to do that. Yeah, and this. Right. So speed can go up to like 270. 280. We can start pushing it now. There we go. Now she's good. Now she's golden. Double E. Eddie's got the plane. He's gonna burn us all. 11 degrees. Okay, so if I bring this down to 1,000 feet per minute, we can let people get out of their seats. Even though there's going to be a turn in a minute. Can I say anything to these people? No. So everything's good. Engines are a bit hot there, but what are you going to do? You know, nothing we can't do, my friend. We're top speed. We're climbing like a rocket. Engine shouldn't be really pushed that much. That's the customer's view. Yeah. I'm gonna guess that the textures were kind of made for altitude flying and not on the ground, because on the ground they were way brighter than they are up here. So I'm guessing that they put these textures in for when it was up flying around. When the sun effectively that's a bit backwards. It should be darker on the ground, not brighter. And it should be brighter now, not darker. I don't know what's going on, man. I'm gonna have to look into the modeling. I don't think their PBR on the model has been done accurately. I think that's what it is. I just have to look into it. Right, so if we look at our flight plan for our top of descent, our top of descent isn't on this one. Sorry. What the hell? I don't know where the top of descent is on this thing. Obviously not on there. So we'll just go to my SimBrief flight plan and scroll down. It's after Rida. So once we hit Rida, right, so now we need to turn 125 here. Oh, it's already doing it for us.
Cabin altitude.
Cabin altitude alert. What's that?
Cabin altitude.
Well, I've already set this up, my man.
Cabin altitude.
Kind of. It's on auto, mate, so was I meant to dial something? It's all in auto. There's nothing to do here. So that shouldn't be a factor. Maybe that's just a normal alert. I don't know. Honestly, don't know. Might as well put terrain down because we ain't gonna see any clouds with the weather engine. So use the map. grain one. I don't know what GCS is. Is that the exams you're going to be doing? So let's, we're going to now do the headings here. So we're now navigating. So basically, and then I will hand fly the approach. So we are now hand navigating it, except for the altitude, which we will hold at 270. It won't automatically hold as time to push it, because I don't actually see, oh, VNAV, I don't actually see a, when you get up to altitude, and hold it for please button. So that's hold your altitude, that's not once you get there, hold it. Maybe there is, I don't know. We're not going to do the ILS. I'm going to basically flyer in. I'm going to be managing all of the systems and speeds and everything. And yeah. And then hand flyer into the runway. So, like I said, I wanted to talk about the developers, their products, and their customers, and how it all ties into basically how I got this plane. So basically, I was on the sim market about 2 weeks ago looking for some Spanish 3D cities to flesh out the map for Spain here that I've made with a bit more detail, and I noticed I saw the MaddogX on the sim market for €114, and it got me thinking. I remember obviously they've started to build one in Microsoft 2020 and 2024, but I've never heard them make a statement about we're leaving, you know, P3D or anything. So it's like MaddogX's still available to purchase for P3D, and it's still full price. So I actually contacted them, emailed them, and said, "Hi, you guys. Do you plan to bring the MaddogX out for V6? And, you know, will the V5 version ever get a further update? And as you sort of making the plane for Microsoft, is that you leaving P3D, or will you return in the future?" And basically, I said, you know, I use P3D exclusively, and I've never bought the MaddogX. Obviously, I've had the beta test version one time, but would you be considering lowering the price of the MaddogX to include the expansion pack as well to around €40 to entice people who have yet to buy it to go get it? And I emailed that off. Now, I typically expected some kind of comeback to either be I would be ignored, or they would come back and say, you know, P3D's dead, you know, you need to jump on the Microsoft bandwagon, because that's the response I've had from A2A and PMDG when I've asked the same question to them. They basically said that sim is dead and we're only doing Microsoft now. You need to jump on board if you want our future planes. And in all honesty, that's a little bit shitty behavior in my opinion, because that's kind of forcing somebody to use something they don't want to use, you know. And it's obviously up to them. They want to handle their business by, we're going to focus on Microsoft only now, as opposed to, you know, FSX, P3D, the sims that we've used to been doing. That's up to them, and that's totally fine. I'm not saying anything about their decisions for that, but to try and push somebody against their will is the shitty bit. But that's the kind of response I was almost expecting from Leonardo, and the response I got was very surprising. They actually emailed me back and said, here is a Microsoft 2020 and 2024 free version for you to try out. Thank you for your email, and we hope you enjoy it. And I was like, what? Like, I specifically told them I don't do Microsoft, I'm only in P3D, and they send me the Microsoft version of the MaddogX. Now, I guess like half of me was like, are they taking the piss? Is this them doing a PMDG and A2A job of trying to push me into that sim by giving me a free version? Or, like, did they make a mistake? Altitude hold. And we're in cruise. Like, was it a genuine mistake? So I contacted them back and said, I don't use that sim, I'm afraid. If you meant to send me a free copy, it's P3D that I use. Only, exclusively. Then we need to turn on some airfoil systems here, just in case. And they came back to me saying, yeah, apologies, that was a mistake. Here is the P3D version. Here we are. And that really set my brain on fire because, for one, they hadn't answered any of the questions I asked about version 6 or lowering the price, or if they've moved on to Microsoft only now. And it's like, I'm still kind of clueless about that, but they've sent me a free version for their P3D, and it's like, I'm thinking, what does that say? So that's what happened with me and Leonardo, and they've not asked me to do this video at all. This is me recognizing that actually Leonardo really does care about the products they make. Like, this is the only plane they've ever made, and they've been making planes since 2006 for all the past sims. And the one you can get in FSX with the limitations of that sim is the one that they're happy, you know, leaving on the table. And same with version 4 and the same with version 5. With the limitations of the sim, this is the complete final build. And obviously they're building a new version for Microsoft Sims, which is still yet to get there. But a lot of developers, you know, before 2020, we had a select core group of developers in P3D. You know, plane makers, PMDG, A2A, Aerosoft, Extreme Prototypes. There was a lot of developers kind of mixed in with like Just Flight Planes. There was FS Labs, Majestic, just absolutely loads. Obviously Golden Age Simulations. And before 2020, you know, they would update their planes for the recent release of P3D. But in 2020, all that changed. And instead of, like, some of the developers actually turned around, and we're talking now airport developers as well, and said, we're only focusing on Microsoft and we're letting go of everything for P3D. And they still allow their stuff to be sold full price, even though A, they haven't updated any of it, and B, they're not going to make anything new for, you know, P3D, which is fine and up to them. But to then just go, we're not even updating our existing stuff for version 5, which isn't even the current version of P3D, tells me a lot about how they actually see their products or their past, or what they consider past customers. Because if a company like Leonardo does actually care about their past customers, then they still allow them to A, have a fully built sim, plane in the sim, and they still allow it to be purchased. Like PMDG have taken down all their products for P3D and ended the availability, and basically have stated, we're never going back to P3D, we're all about the Microsoft. And they're building new planes now as well, like the Max 8 and the 747-400, but P3D will never see any of them. Much like A2A, who have done the Aerostar, originally designed for P3D, but now it's only for, you know, Microsoft. And they basically stated, we're done with P3D, but you can still buy our products for P3D, and it's still full price, which is great. And it's a shame they're not going to build new products for P3D. They've kind of done it right by allowing people still to buy their stuff, and there is still support there. PMDG have stated they're not for sale, and you're basically not going to get support anymore. Same with Aerosoft. You can still buy all the planes and airports, but you won't get support for them. They're only just about the Microsoft. And like, I understand there is a need to move on, but I would say surely you only move on when absolutely nobody is using a certain platform. Like, there are still people flying it in FS 2004. There's still people flying in FSX. And obviously there's still people flying in all versions of P3D. So there is still a customer base to cater for. Yes, you may not make anything new for those sims, that's fine, but at least A, maintain the legacy content that you've had and keep those updated, you know, and made available for purchase. Now, a lot of developers, Milviz, Aeroplane Heaven and Blackbox, have, like I said, moved on to Microsoft, but then just given all their stuff away that they, you know, used to sell for free, which is kind of decent, like, thank you very much. And they state that there's no support for this. It's in a as it is state and it'll never get updated. And that is such a shame. That is a real shame that it ain't never going to get updated. Press ABNL. What does that mean? I don't know. We'll turn those on, mate. Airfoil ice, press a abnormal. So we got some abnormal ice on the airfoil, but I've got the airfoil turned on, so yeah, I'm saying, mate, that should be all right. Like, right, I need to do a little turn here. I want to make sure we're tracking. It's like, thank you for giving them to us for free, you know. If you don't care about them anymore, you might as well give them away for free. And we understand there's no support, but to remove things from sale and never allow people to access them, you know, is up to them, obviously. But it's such a shame. Now, Leonardo haven't done that, and they never reduced the price of this plane. It's still their full price. Now, obviously, it wasn't always £114. You know, when it first came out for FSX, I think it was like 50 or 60. And when it first came out for P3D, it was 70, because they were still developing it and making it. But when it was feature complete, that's when it went up to €114. They genuinely care not only about their products, but their past clients and looking forward to future potential clients. But they still give their current clients everything that they've got in contract with a purchase of sale with the customer for. That is the right way to do things, and Leonardo, I think, should be congratulated. People, you know, like Aerosoft and A2A, who still make things available for sale, is great, and they say that you won't get any updates. That's a shame. You know, but people like PMDG, who, to be honest, when they left P3D and their selection of planes, they weren't even up to date. They weren't even feature complete. There were still fixes and bug fixes and updates that were required. I can't really fly the 737 NGXU online if a controller comes on, because it doesn't have the 8 kilohertz spacing required by FLIGHTSIM. So a lot of their planes never got fully updated, and they basically said, we're gone. You can still use them now, but nobody else can buy them. Like, that's really not that's disrespecting not only your legacy customers, but your current customers who are still using your products. And you're only focused on future potential customers. That's not a way to run a business, my friend, unless you're planning on running it into the ground. You know, a successful business is able to keep happy both future potential customers, current customers, and legacy customers. And, you know, I understand, like, legacy customers, you don't have to keep those products available. Just make sure that they're flyable and that the people have access to them. You know, like, you can't go and get the PMDG MD11, and if you've installed it into FSX, you have to have kept it in FSX to be able to still fly it, because you now can no longer register that plane anymore, even if you bought it. It won't install into FSX if you tried to. It's like, it's such a shame that there are a lot of developers who have really, I guess, shown their true colors Right, we need to start to go down now. So we're going to reduce our speed first to 50. And I am going to set this now for whatever the airport is, which is 5,000 feet. And we're going to start to reset, my friend. We'll start off with 1,500 at first and see what happens. There we go, descending down. So, seatbelts on, everybody. And I'll do the prepare for landing now, just to get it out of the way. Don't have to worry about it later. Right, so what do we have to do up here? I don't really see anything that is urgent. I'm going to flick that over to the APU, and I wonder, can we start the APU? Because I like to start it in the air like an hour before I get there. I like to have it running when I'm on the ground. So we'll see if that's going to allow me to do that. I'm not really sure if it does in this plane. So, okay, so we now need to start thinking about our approach. So basically this is it here. We're coming in, and around about here, I'm going to hand fly it all the way in. Basically, that's basically what it is. Master caution. Does the start pump have to be on? Not really sure if that has to be on. Airfoil ice pressure abnormal. That, I don't like that. I don't know what that does. Let's just push things and see what happens, guys. Right, so let's get some weather up. What's the weather like in Madrid? Beautiful, and it's only blowing 8 knots, so gorgeous. Right, so this thing hasn't really started, but that's probably because we're too high in the air. We might be, what is the temperature like? Temperature's like 35 degrees. I think we need to make it a little bit colder. People are cooking in the back. Start pump on. And that's what it was. Start the APU again. We might be too high. We might be actually too high. But in the BAC 111 you can start your APU in the air. But I think we're too high, to be honest. We'll see what happens. We're coming down. Basically, my whole point is that I was really surprised by Leonardo, who honestly do care about their products, and they focus solely on the one plane to make it the very best in flight simulation. And this version in P3D version 5 is feature complete and the best version to fly in any simulator. It beats the Rotate MaddogX 80, you know, out of the water. It is highly realistic, and the retired MD-80 airline pilot who I spoke to said this is the most realistic simulation he's used. Obviously not in like a professional training sim, but for an at-home simulator. Right, let's lower those, see if they flip off. He has really enjoyed flying this. He says everything's working correctly as it should. Only a couple of button presses that don't work, like the map light, but it ain't a big deal. We're gonna start slowing I think down a bit. I think we have to put that on to manage. I'm not really sure. I know what it is in an ATR, but I don't really know what it is here. Still not got the APU overrunning. It did start to, but I think that does that have to be off for it to work? I think so. Let me try turning it off for a second and restart that. That might re-kick it in. Is it gonna start? No. Come on. Start it up, boys. Let's go. Oh, it's rising. Temperature's rising. Feeling's kinda low. According to all sources, MaddogX the place to go. 'Cause tonight's the first time in 10:30. It's raining MaddogX. Everybody, it's raining MaddogX. Amen. Yeah, well, she ain't gonna start. We're too high. We're too high in the sky. Okay, we need to slow her down a bit. We're gonna get out of 220 now. Make it just a bit more manageable. Because obviously below 10,000 we have to be at 250 anyway, which we are already. But I like to be prepared, my son. Right, so QNH is 1020 and 3012. So let's just sort that out. Ooh, hello. Sort that out now. 020 and 2. And that's... Obviously, I'm fully aware that on YouTube there are so many people who have already done things like this, you know. Right. I think we tip our nose up a bit. Like, so many people have already done the kind of like here she is type of video. I am totally late to the game, but you know how I got it really got me thinking about the company. And if they really didn't care about their customers, they would just remove it from sale and focus on Microsoft like PMDG did. Or they would say, sorry, P3D, we're not coming back and we're not updating for V6. And that would be disrespecting their legacy customers, like A2A have done. Or they would just say, you know, you can still buy it, we're moving on, but there's no support, like Aerosoft. You know, FS Labs as well have stated, like, they're only focusing for now on Microsoft, but it doesn't mean we're leaving P3D. And that is the right way to do it, is inform people that you're just gonna, for the next 5 to 10 years, maybe focus on the money-making sim. But you haven't forgot about the people who put you where you are, that you actually do care about them. And Leonardo and FS Labs, Majestic, and Extreme Prototypes are the only developers, as well as Orbix, but they're all airports and scenery, are the only developers who show that they care about their legacy customers. And to me, that is super important, because if you're a future potential customer of a developer, let's say you're thinking about buying an AnyBuilds product or a product in Microsoft, and you're seeing that developer dump on its old customers, you're going to be one of those people in the future. How would you feel about getting dumped on with a product that you now no longer can use, or isn't working like it should, is not feature complete, and is hampering your experience in flight sim? How would you feel about that? Because I don't feel very nice about having incomplete planes to fly in P3D by PMDG, you know, or Aerosoft, or to a degree A2A. It feels really bad. It feels like they don't care about us. And, you know, a lot of their staff and their forums do reflect that. Like, I've been bullied in the A2A Discord for liking P3D, and I've had posts removed from PMDG because I asked questions about P3D. It's like, that behavior from a developer is so shitty and should never be happening. It's so sad, you know. And this is what the future of flight sim will become full of. You know, the only reason things like this are happening is because the massive influx of gamers from Microsoft into this community, which was such a small community prior to 2020, before the gaming community got involved. And now we've got loads more developers as well. We've got loads of developers, mainly gaming developers, right? I need to be between 12 and 14,000. So we are going to slow our descent down now. And our plane I really need to be at Burex. So I don't really know where. Oh, here he is. So yeah, Burex is, we need to be at 14,000. So Might have to actually slow it down even further. And then we'll basically be turning on a heading of 046. But I think I might be hand flying that. Anyway, the rant is over for developers. You know, I am really super thankful for Leonardo to allow me access into being able to utilize this. Let's go down to 190, in fact. 195. And I absolutely love this plane. I think it's such a fully... Oh shit, we never turned that off. Well, we might as well set it up for, you know, max brakes now. Because we're going to fucking need them. I think it's such a fully made plane to the point where, you know, I've had trouble even starting the engines. Right, it seems to be kind of teetering here. Oh, hang on, 200 is kind of like a minimum limit here. We gotta be careful here. Oh no, that's my bloody... Never mind. Right, let's do our turn and now. 046. And we need to be, according to the charts, above 7,000, so we could actually start a bit more of a descent now. You get the feet in the stirrups. Alpha speed. Don't know what that means. The alpha male. Yeah, I'm just really thankful for Leonardo, and I think they made a super plane, and the one they make in Microsoft is going to be just as awesome as it is in P3D, you know, and everybody who has it in Microsoft is going to love it when it's finished. Right, all that's on. Still can't start the old APU, can we? Reset that. Cabin temperature is still they're still burning and cooking back there. 35 degrees. Man, I got these things on high and it's set for cold air. Like, I don't know why they're cooking back there. Hey, Captain, you're cooking your passengers. There's some hot dogs on board. I mean, at the end of the day, it's set to auto, so obviously I could set this colder, and it would reduce the temperature. But when you set to auto, it should maintain, surely. And this is set to auto as well, so don't know what's going on here. Right, APU still not starting. I'm gonna give up on the APU, I think, because that ain't happening, my friend. Keep that on air conditioned and colder. We're okay. We need to slow down though, so I'm going to bring out the slats or whatever it's called, and we're going to arm their speed brake. Because we do need to hit down to 195. We're coming in way too fast here. Let's have a look at our map. We're a bit off track as well. Let's go to the lucky left. Go about 55. Here we go. So the airport should be kind of visible now, which I don't really see. Oh, that might have been it, jumping in the sim. Hey, anybody see an airport around here? We're literally... Oh no, it's up ahead. It's... Yeah, we're just loading into the sim. Somewhere like up here, I think. What's that? I can hear a noise that doesn't sound very good, to be honest. What is that? I'll turn the sim back up now that I've stopped yakking. What is that? Is that the wind? Might be the wind. Okay, we're cruising along quite nicely. Feel like maybe we can line up a bit more. think Madrid's continuing to load in. Looks like it might be over here-ish. Frames are still good though, considering, you know. And yeah, after I do this, I'll be turning the failures and maintenance back on and learning how to start these engines without burning it. Right, 10,000 feet, that's landing lights on. Those, well no, that's... What that sound is? Sounds like rats. Oh, is that not armed? Yeah, that needs to be armed, otherwise they're not actually going to work. Oh, it doesn't arm. Dude, that's a bit of a burn, isn't it? What's going on there? Oh, for land. Oh, it's a land. Oh, okay. Never mind. Right, let's put some more stages out. And we're going to go down to 177. And I'm going to actually see what my landing speed is, to be honest. So for landing, we're landing at LEMD. Wind is blowing 8 knots. Oh, no, it's actually 220/8. Outside temperature is 23 degrees. Auto brake manual, reverse yes, Q&H 1020. Should have kind of done this before. We're landing on 13 right, 32 right, bloody hell. And my landing weight, I haven't got a clue. 56.5 it says there, and it'll convert it if I put it in pounds, I think. I don't know. There we go. Calculate that. We're landing at 153, my friend. So, and there's even the look. Extend your flaps. I think that's my landing speed there. But anyway, yeah, about 150. So we're at 180 now. We're all good. We're coming in. Daddy's coming in. Where's Madrid, my friend? It should be on the horizon. Should be here, like. I can see something here. Yeah, there's like a blob of activity there. Alright. We're going to keep at 180 or 177. That's the aim speed. It says we have to be above 7,000 where we are, which is exactly what we are. We're going to go now to 1,000 feet per minute because we need to be above 6,000 for the next, which is on the approach. So we're coming up onto our turn for final, which is where Daddy's taking it. What's my flaps? Does it say here? It doesn't. That's flaps 28, and I'm landing at 138. So flaps 11, 156. So flaps 11 is what we're aiming for. And what have we got so far? Flaps 11. That can't be right, mate. Should we? Do we have to reset this to 11? Is that it? Is that how it works? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Am I burning us right now? I don't know. Don't know what's going on. See, the lower you go, the better it looks. That just doesn't. That's not right. So it looks good on the ground and it looks shite above. Man, this is an old knackered plane. This plane is dying. But the look at that cowl in there. Woo, yeah. American Airlines, you're going to die if you fly with American Airlines. Oh shit, we're well off course here. Hang on a second. What's going on here, Daddy? Yeah, we need to match that up a bit better. Right, I think Daddy's gonna have to let the plane in a second here, because, yeah, we need to be heading towards that VOR. Hang on, how can I get my, range? Yeah, we need to track almost in the 30s. More. There we go, that'll do. Okay, 6,000 feet above. Let's slow down a bit. 500 feet should do it. And the elevation is, we have to be at 5,000 feet for our glide slope, which is what we're aiming for. Obviously, because of these bloody mountains. Okay, let me turn this off because that's annoying me now. I'm going to just drop them now because I don't want to have to worry about things. Can we prepare for landing again, or have we burned that option? Yep. Doesn't seem to be working anymore. How about the APU? Is that good? Can we try that now? See what happens. Okay, so the runway, heading of the runway, well, this approach chart's a bit funky. 323. So I'm going to dial in the course 323 just to remind me that that's what we're turning on. Hang on, after 323. Oh fucking hell, mate, this is can you not make this go faster? Past the bloody runway. Right, that means we're coming up to the altitude and we're turning at 500. So 3, come on. 3, 2, 3. And just for kicks, 109.1. Just for kicks. Right, so I think we need to kind of make a turn here. Let's have a look here. Can we see anything? I don't see an airport. Oh, there's something over here. There's something over here. Right, let's slow it up. And 160 it. Another stage. Oh no, we'll do that on the turn. Right, so basically 323 is what we need to turn in a mo. What if I stick it back on nav? Will that just take me in? I don't know. Right, I am now going to turn 323 and then hand fly it down. So 3,
Stabilizer motion.
2, 3. Allow it to turn us onto this course here. So we should be seeing. Alright, let's put our flaps final and gear down. Our final landing speed of 155.
2,500.
And there should be a runway for us to say hello to. As soon as Daddy sees it, autopilot's going off. We're at 5,000 now, so we're actually below. Shit, we're actually below the altitude we should be at. So I see the runway. Daddy's got the plane. So autopilot and auto throttle off. Daddy's got it. We're landing on the right.
Altitude.
Yeah, I know. So
Altitude.
pitch down a bit. What's the okay? Speed is rising. Okay. Caddy's got it. So all of our lights are lit. We've got, that's just to say autopilot's off. So, and that's to say auto throttle's off. Tell that to shut up. And we need to slide over a bit. So coming in a bit hot. And coming in a bit shallow, I'd say. So, yeah, altitude, mate. Do you know what? Flight directors can go off if that shuts her up. Shut up. Okay, we're looking for 150 landing. Yeah, he's coming in mid-read. We're losing too much height here. Daddy's not happy. We haven't burned our engines, but then that's because we're on easy mode.
500.
So that's not a big shock, is it? Okay. Coming in, boys. Okay, I feel like we're not on the track here. Okay, so this is where frames are starting to go taking a dive as we approach the heavy airport. Still flyable, but controller lag is now in effect. I could turn on lossless scaling, but in all honesty, it ain't going to benefit you. Watching this, you're going to see exactly what frames are actually generated. Because that's OBS is a bit shite. But yeah, we're dying on the old frame front. So, but that's what this was about, to see. It seems like the closer we get, the lower they go. Like, it should be fully loaded in now. So, CPU just going, please. Have mercy on me. My GPU, what is my CPU and GPU actually doing?
300.
I'm looking off to the screen when I should be looking at the road. 50% on both. So it's actually the airport, sorry. Because they are only doing 50%, they can do more. Too low for flaps.
Too low, flaps.
Alright, well we'll put them up then, mate.
Too low, flaps.
Or are you saying no, they need to go down? I don't know what you're saying, mate. But we're going down.
Too low, flaps.
Alright, go put more down then, mate. Fuck's sake.
200.
Oh, here we go.
40.
Oh shit. We're long.
30.
Hard landing, folks.
10.
Boom, we're down. Full reverse. And spoilers. Reverse is engaged. Hey, we can come off here. Look at that. How cool is that? Boom. All the alerts are still kicking off. I don't know why. But we're coming straight off, my friend. How cool was that? Shut up, bitch. We've landed. Can't quieten this up a bit. Hang on, we come off the right one. Let me get my airport map up. Where's the airport map? Okay, let me... dude, there's no tarmac here. What's the tarmac's disappeared, my friend. I don't think we should have come off. Oh no, there's a big X on the map here. This is like legit. You're not meant to come off here. Is that one I was meant to come off at? Oh well. Who cares? I don't. Oh fuck. Do you know what? I'm gonna have to put lossless scaling on. Even my camera don't know what to do. Let me get this going here. Get a bit more better. There we go. I mean, it's still gonna be a piece of shit for you guys. Right. Flaps up. Taxi lights on. I don't know how you stop that. So, do you know what? We can actually turn anti-ice off. Everything's a bit hot. shouldn't really be having anti-ice on. That should have come off way before. Right, let's park it up. And in fact, GSX, you can come get me. We want to stand. We don't want to gate. A dock. That's GA. That's not going to work for me, mate. Parking. Heavy, whatever, mate. We'll have a heavy. Iberia. Going in. Right. I've turned all that off, so altitude. They're probably dying in the back. Right, can we start our APU up now? Is that possible, mate? Give me some apes. Turn that off. Reset this. Come on. APU generator's off. I know it is because, you know, you haven't started yet. Nothing. Start pump off. That shouldn't actually do that. Daddy can't start his APU. Come on. Lucky third time. Dude, the APU's not starting. What's going on here, Jack? Put these up. Here's the APU. Killed our APU. Whatever. Let's go. Why is the altitude kicking off, guys? I don't know how you turn that. Reset. Come on. TCAS off. Brakes. Oh, hang on, I know why it's... Oh shit, not CO. Have we got to start those pneumatic things? No, you don't start that to start your APU. I don't know why the APU don't want to start, mate. APU's played silly buggers with me now. Come on. Literally, I don't get why, is there like a shut the fuck up button somewhere that I'm not seeing? Hey. Frames are coming back. Please, that's happening. Turn off the weather radar. Is it the TCAS? Is that it? No, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what that bitch is on about. Right, I don't know where we're going either at Madrid here. But clearly, a heavy airport, you do need to reduce your settings for this plane. Otherwise, your landing is going to be very fun, my friend. You know? What was the I didn't see the landing rating. You guys know, but again, I don't. I'll have to wait to the edit to find out. I can imagine it was hard. I can imagine. You like it hard, don't you? Altitude. Oh, that should have gone to the ocean, shouldn't it? Oh, I don't know. Come on, give me a bloody APU, you fucker. Where's he taking us? He's taking us to the idiot stand. Yeah, all those pilots that don't know what they're doing, we put them down here, out of people's way. Right, is there anything we can say to our staff? Prepare for takeoff. Alright, gotta turn the probes off. Everyone can light up if you want. Altitude. Let me turn that up. That's what it was. Because the altitude here, and we're at like 2,000. Oh, I don't know why. But yeah, that's what it was. Just turning that up. Shut her up. Okay. We got it. I don't know if I have to turn on the MaddogX. I don't think I would do, but let's try running this APU again. Yo, where's my APU, man? Come on. It won't even start now. We're gonna have to get a air starter unit to get my APU running. Yo, come on, mate. Help a boy out. I think my start pump has to be on. Oh no, it's because that's not on. That's why, you fucking idiot. Hey, what system is gonna activate your APU? Hey? That's what it is. Okay, now. Should start now. I don't know if it will. Hey guys, I'm not a real pilot, by the way. Welcome to Madrid, folks. Welcome to Madrid. That's it. That's Madrid. Welcome to Madrid, everyone. In the Leonardo Mad Dog. Oh shit, going off the train. Come on, boy. Give me some apes. Won't even give it to me yet. What's going on, Jack? What does that do? Ram air. Open them doors. Come on. Give me some rams. Start pushing buttons, see what happens. That's my theory. Man, where's he taking me? Back to Portugal. Come on, mate. We've been taxiing for days. I'll run out of fuel, mate, in a minute. Oh. Yeah, Madrid's obviously a heavy airport. I should have toned down my settings to allow for the landing in Madrid. But now I know. See? That's the whole point. Now I know. Right. Well, we've stopped. Well, we've run out of fuel, guys. Well, we actually got plenty. I got 5,000 kilograms of fuel left. We're all right for fuel. It's the APU, man, burning me. I might have to get an engineer in here. How am I going to turn my engines off if I've got no APU? Is it the start pump, maybe? Try it again in a minute. Right, where's he? Is this the cargo ramp? What the hell? Mate, wait, come on. Left, right, make your choice. Where are you going now, my friend? Oh, come on, mate. Got less frames than Specsavers here. Where the fuck are we going now, mate? There was a terminal just there. I'm sure that will be fine. Are you giving me the bloody tour of Madrid? I hope this is Madrid, to be fair. I hope we're at the right airport. Right, I'll put that to dim now and turn them off. Maybe that'll help. Maybe that'll help start the APU up. Why is that always set to run? Come on. Run it up, boys. Start it up. Still not starting. Was he taking me on the fucking runway? Is he? Oh, take off and get out of here, mates. Mate, we're on the fucking runway here. This is a runway. Where the hell are you taking me? Mate, you know what you're doing. He's lost, isn't he? He's like, oh shit. I've lost the bloody way. Hopefully he hasn't clocked it yet. Okay. Still no APU. Where are you going now, mates? What the fuck are you doing? Jesus Christ. Hey, there's a terminal over there as well, mate. You're passing me all... You're bypassing all the terminals here. Oh my god. Let me look on the map. Where's he taking me? Let me have a look. He's taking me to P20. Where's P20? P20. Oh yeah, there's so many. We're heading towards the 3-digit bloody places we are. I don't know where he thinks we're going. Parking stand 20. I don't know. Another airport, I think. Yeah, let's get the outside view cracking here. Come on, mate. Now we're going to turn in here now. Oh my god. He's got us going in the special needs section. Yeah, basically they're going to retire the bloody plane right here, I think. Where are we, man? Are we still at Madrid Airport? Is this another airport? Oh, shit, hell. Yeah, let me get over here. Where are you going, mate? If you turn right... No, he's not. We're going straight on. What is this? Qantas Airways? We're heading for the shit show section. Don't know what else I can do down here. Is there a way to turn?
Landing gear.
What? What? What was that? I was doing a test. I didn't touch anything. I pushed that button. I don't know what the landing gear had to do with it. You can't test your... No, I don't know. Come on, mate. Let's go. Get something to eat after this. I'm starving. Yeah, he's hungry. Alright, where's he got me going? Remote stand here that nobody's here. Where's he gone? Where's he going? There he's go. There we are. He's got us over here. Right. Let's turn in. Okay. Nose light off. Wing light off. Position light on. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the way we're doing it. Okay, buddy, we're here. Rock and roll, doggy. Trumps on the baggage, guys. Be careful with your bags. Yeah, that'll do, mate. That'll do. We don't need to... Right, I gotta see if I can start this fucking APU up now. Because I can't call ground services unless I can. So, that should be... I'm sure, right, that should be off. And I'm thinking that should be off. And I'm thinking the start pump should be on. And the system should be engaged. And it should fucking start. I don't know. Nothing's happening, so let's call the ground crew. Connect us up with a power unit.
Yes, sir. Connect the GPU, please.
Otherwise, we're dead in the water.
Stand by.
Come on, give me something, mate. The APU's dead. Turn that off. Try that
GPU
again.
connected.
GPU's the savior. Okay, we're connected by a GPU, so engines can get shut off now. Bye bye. Where's the other one? There. Right, so that's that. Seatbelt signs can come off. Everybody get out. Like, I don't know what else you have to do. I'll just call them dark it afterwards. Can we have some stairs, please? Oh, we need to set that. All lamp systems are off. That's off. Turn all this. Fuel pumps off. We're on that. Open the doors, girls. Come on. People want to get out. Doors. Yeah, just out that one for now. Goodbye, peoples. Let's get them out. Let's get them off. Let's go. Thank you for flying with the worst airline.
The passenger
in
bus
history.
is coming.
Not American Airlines. They're great, but me flying it. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, basically that's it. You know, my final thoughts on this plane is it's fantastic, but you gotta know what you're doing. Otherwise, one, you're gonna burn yourself, and two, things aren't just gonna work correctly. There's a whole load of documentation, and like I said in my Discord, I have got extra stuff, full checklists, full manuals that I've sourced that are going to be available that you can go and get that will help you, but didn't help me because I haven't read them yet, you know. But I absolutely love this plane. Oh, I need to turn that off. Absolutely love this plane, and I look forward to doing more flights in it, to be honest. So let's get it on. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this, although I can pretty much guess what they are on my video here. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.
Passengers deboarding starting.
Bye.